Why are you laughing, Mick? I'm laughing to myself because a great proportion of Warner Brothers didn't think that Sinners and Minecraft would be a success. And there was a certain part of the studio who was ready to oust Adby and DeLuca. Mike DeLuca, not Mike Adby, I'm getting their surnames mixed up. Mike DeLuca and Pam Adby, as co-CEOs of WB Pictures, were apparently toast. That's not the truth. There's a certain person at the studio who is eyeing up the WB Pictures CEO post, right? And because they thought that Sinners and Minecraft was going to be a flop, they thought, we'll start leaking things to the press. This is a home run. We can take over the whole of the studio. This is the biggest fail, one of the biggest fails in Hollywood studio history. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most, just ask your girlfriends and your wives. You can follow me on X Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. You can follow me on TikTok, Mad Mickey's World, and on Snapchat, BMouth60 Mick, your host with the most. So a very warm welcome to Sunday's edition of the DCU Daily. I am a little bit worse for wear. I was in Ayia Napa last night, as I am in most nights. A heavy night. I'm going to try my best to keep everything in check for you. Now, I don't really want to talk about Adby and DeLuca, but I do want to talk about Ryan Coogler and Sinners and the knock-on effect this could have with DC film, because this is a very important movie. One thing you've got to understand about this biz is that one successful film can change everything. All of a sudden, Ryan Coogler has become a Beatle. He's become Elvis Presley. He's become Nat King Cole. Whoever you want to compare him with. All of a sudden, overnight, he is the Steven Spielberg of 2025, of the 21st century, because they needed someone. They needed a huge director, someone to lap praise on. They were desperate, especially at Warner Brothers. They were relying on Superman to save them. But the irony isn't lost on me that an original movie is saving Warner Brothers and Hollywood and movie theaters right now. This is huge. This is brilliant. It changes everything. A few weeks ago at CinemaCon, David Zaslav said the future of the studio was intellectual properties, IPs. I wonder if he still believes the same thing. I think not. And what I want to talk about today, because I saw a font for a video saying, we don't want any cape shit. Basically, there was this video getting upset that some fans want Ryan Coogler to make a DC movie. And of course, James Gunn fans and Snyder fans will be agreeing with this. They'll be worried about Ryan Coogler's worth now as a filmmaker, because things are looking very, very dangerous for both of their favourite directors if they want James Gunn to keep on running the DCU and they want Snyder to restore the Snyderverse. Now, I believe Snyder's got one more DC movie in him, and I think it's a faithful adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns. It's what Zack wants to do. I don't think he'll ever finish his Justice League arc. That's just my opinion. But the reason they did this video, we don't want any cape shit, no more cape shit. We want Ryan Coogler to stay original. But they're okay with Ryan Coogler rebooting The X-Files. No, because it doesn't get in their way, you see. But Ryan Coogler is now a threat. Because this is not about Ryan Coogler making one DC movie, right? Because he really has got a good relationship over at Disney as well. Disney owned Fox. That's why he's rebooting The X-Files. He's going to do a Black Panther 3, I'm sure. Or will he? As I say, a successful movie changes everything. It's Ryan Coogler's future over at Warner Brothers with Michael B. Jordan. Very, very interesting. We know that Michael B. Jordan was going to play a version of Superman. Not the version of Superman, not Kal-El, but another version that was cancelled. That's a shame. He also was going to be very much involved in DC Michael B. Jordan as well. And I've made it known to anyone that if you do want to go a bit woke with Batman and cast a black actor, you couldn't get any better, than Michael B. Jordan as Bruce Wayne and Batman. He would be excellent. And who better to direct Michael B. Jordan as Bruce Wayne and Batman than Ryan Coogler? But it goes beyond one movie, and this is why Gunn fans, but especially Snyder fans, and that's why that's why that video is from a Snyder, I think it's a Snyder fan or Snyder fans, whatever, was it the Lethal Geeks or was it Aaron Fesher? I can't remember. But they said, no more capes. But they say no more capes, but they're happy for Zack Snyder to make cape movies, so the hypocrisy isn't lost on me there either. So let me explain to you why Snyder fans, but James Gunn fans will be very nervous about Coogler's success right now, because nobody expected Sinners to hit this big. Nobody expected Minecraft to be successful. All of a sudden, Warner Brothers are making good decisions through the people that apparently they wanted to replace. Just imagine Peter Safran, who's basically produced flop after flop, as the CEO of Warner Brothers Pictures. This would be one of the biggest backfires in Hollywood studio history. It would be an insane thing to do. We all know who was leaking those stories about Adby and DeLuca to the Hollywood Reporter, but especially Variety. And there was, and clearly the people leaking them that wanted Safran to take over WB Pictures believed beyond all certainty that Sinners and Minecraft either wouldn't make a lot of money, would be a middle-of-the-road box office delivery, or that they would totally fail. And Sinners and Minecraft has not failed, and that's why I was laughing on the top of the show, because I think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's brilliant. I'm so happy about this. But you see, if Superman fails, Ryan Coogler will get the keys to the DC kingdom. That's what I've been striving to talk about for the past 7 minutes, and I apologise. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not doing an Aaron Fesher who takes about 10 minutes to say his name. But yes, if Superman fails, I can assure you that Ryan Coogler will get the keys to the DC kingdom. And because Snyder fans and by the way, Ryan Coogler makes the Snyder fans' job impossible. He hasn't fancy dressed, right, as a certain type of people before. He hasn't made problematic tweets. So they will have nowhere to go with Coogler. It will be the end of the story. The Snyder fans' battle will be over if Ryan Coogler gets the keys to the DC kingdom. And Ryan Coogler will absolutely get the keys to the DC kingdom if Superman fails. That's who they're going to give it to. He's made a hit movie for them, right? He made that movie with Michael B. Jordan, who's Mr. Warner Brothers. He's been part of the studio since he's been a young lad. It's all there. And everything that Michael wanted to do with DC can be reignited with Ryan Coogler again. Ryan Coogler is very prolific. He's been really prolific since, directing Creed. He's been prolific since Black Panther as well. And he made a few other things as well. But that's when his name became golden. And don't forget who put him in the mainstream. Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige is a smart guy, right? He's made some interesting decisions lately, but Kevin Feige is the one who brought James Gunn to do Guardians of the Galaxy, a wise decision. He's the one who decided to put Ryan Coogler in charge of, the Black Panther universe as well. And that the first film was absolutely outstanding. He's a brilliant storyteller, and I'm sure he will make a half-decent X-Files. I'm against the X-Files being rebooted because I love the original, and it's just that. It's not because I believe that Coogler wouldn't do a good job. Personally, I'd be very happy with Ryan Coogler getting the keys to the DC kingdom, and this is what I believe is going to happen if Superman fails. This is a very interesting situation because Coogler is open. Clearly, he's worked with capes before, with Black Panther, He's happy to work within a franchise like The X-Files, a TV series. This is a hardcore, talented young director. Everything is in front of Ryan Coogler. He can do anything he wants because I don't believe that Hollywood and Warner Brothers are going to take the wrong kind of influence from the success of Sinners. I don't think all of a sudden they're going to make loads of vampire movies. They're going to be looking at original movies now, because if this can make this type of money, an R-rated movie, right? I think he had a 10% drop off. If that's true, is that true? Can anyone confirm that? I don't know, but a very low drop off. So as I say, this director, he was huge before Sinners, but now he's prolific, and every studio will want his signature, and Warner Brothers are at an advantage. Of course, Disney are at an advantage as well, because he's already got a relationship with them. So this guy is going to have the offers rolling in. And if Superman fails, I can guarantee you he will be offered the keys to the DC kingdom. Not Zack Snyder. No. James Gunn goes, it's Coogler who takes over DC Studios. And with his history in making great entertainment, I would be very open to someone like Coogler, who's an auteur. He is an auteur, but he's also used to working in studio entertainment. He knows how it works. He knows that he has to work with them and not against them. So I think he would be absolutely perfect. But of course, we don't know if Superman's going to fail. That's very important. But now Sinners puts a lot of pressure on James Gunn and WB and David Zaslav, whose job is more under risk than DeLuca's and Abby's job. They've got 2 wins under their belts. They really had nothing to do with the green lighting of, Superman, really. Not really. I know DeLuca said he kind of, asked Gunn to write a Superman movie, but you're not going to blame DeLuca and Abby for that movie. It's, because it was Zaslav who, wanted James Gunn to become the co-CEO of DC Studios. So it's very interesting. The success of Sinners has created a knock-on effect, because as I said earlier, a successful movie knocks the dominoes. It changes everything. From them leaking, to the press that Abby and DeLuca were failures, that did a bad job, it was their fault that Joker 2 was a failure. Absolute nonsense. Absolute Tommy Rob, right? You've got to put the blame of that movie, if you don't like that movie, and you're going to blame someone for it being a flop, you've got to put that on the director, on the writer-director, Todd Phillips. I love Todd Phillips, I really do. I think he's a very talented man. Seems like a very, measured guy. But at the end of the day, he made the movie. He didn't allow anyone to, tell him what to do. It was his decisions. That's on him. And Abby and DeLuca didn't green light Joker 2. I'm quite sure that they didn't. So you can't blame Abby and DeLuca for Joker 2. But their decisions are now, they're paying fruition. So anyone who wanted Safran to be the CEO of WB Pictures has crashed and burned. All those leaks have crashed and burned. What a backfire that was. They really believed that Minecraft and Sinners were going to fail, were going to flop. And it's so brilliant. It's so funny. And now it's them who are under pressure because Superman has to perform. Let me be absolutely clear with you. There is no excuses. If Superman doesn't at least make the same box office as Man of Steel, they are toast. But with what's going on with Ryan Coogler, he will absolutely get the keys to the DC kingdom. I'm sure of it now. That's it. Whether he accepts them or not, I don't know. But it's very, very interesting. Because he's what everyone's talking about right now. Because Sinners is a really, really good film. There's no question about it. Of course, people can get carried away. But the evidence of his greatness is everywhere to be seen. He is a great storyteller. He is good at what he does. He's very measured when he talks. He's a great guy. He's everything you would want from a CEO of DC Studios. And by the way, saffron goes if Superman flops as well.